Nancy Cordes followed the Clinton campaign in New York while Major Garrett covered Donald Trump's victory. They're both with us here in Studio 57. Great to have you guys here.
Good morning. Great to be with you.
Good together.
They look very nice. Twofer. I
like it.
Nancy, I haven't seen you in 18 months.
Wow. You, Major.
Major, let's talk about Donald Trump. Because with this big victory, I mean, it's mathematically impossible for Ted Cruz to win the nomination. Is today a reckoning day?
It's the first of many reluctant reckoning days for Republicans. Look, Ted Cruz, if you count unbound delegates and look at the mathematics in a way that only the Cruz campaign can, it's not impossible to win the nomination, but it's incredibly difficult. Trump not only won, but he carried a wow factor with the size of the victory. And look, it was a closed primary, typically not the best kind of primary for Donald Trump. And what did his campaign do? They did the hard work of preparing for New York months ago. This is a lesson the Trump campaign ought to learn going forward. Preparation matters. It can take a good environment, make it even better. And if Trump learns that in campaign cover in primaries in Indiana, Oregon, Washington, Nebraska, Wyoming, and the lot, he will, in all likelihood, become the Republican nominee.
I'm intrigued by this point. In both parties, the likely nominee does not run as strong against the other party as the also-rans.
Well, the Clinton campaign would argue that's because she has been attacked, starting out by 17 Republicans at the beginning of this race, and Bernie Sanders hasn't been vetted to the degree she has. They say if he were the nominee, that over those months of the general election, his numbers would erode.
Well, both the frontrunners, Hillary Clinton and Donald Trump, are calling for unity today. Is that the frontrunner speak for competition? Get out now?
Sure. It's always easy to be magnanimous in victory.
Yeah.
And you look to all your rivals and say, you're so wonderful. You're the greatest thing that there ever was. Now get out.
And we saw that last night, actually.
And Trump was very short, sweet, drove a very simple message, called Ted Cruz Senator Cruz, not Lion Ted. Properly pronounced John Kasich's surname. That's always not always true with Donald Trump. So you can begin to see the outlines of someone who is A, trying to be a unifier, B, trying to be a little bit more presidential, a little bit more temperamentally aligned with the obligations of a frontrunner and a presumptive nominee. That transition is ongoing.
Isn't it interesting that
the transition to becoming a presidential nominee?
I'm always fascinated they're saying he's being more presidential just because he's not calling him Lying Ted. Isn't that just
a low bar?
Polite
Trump has realigned the bar. Let us acknowledge that.
The Clinton campaign was actually very explicit last night after her win. They said Bernie Sanders needs to go back to his vow not to go negative on the eventual nominee because he is damaging her and, by extension, the Democratic Party. I asked one of his aides this morning what they think of that urging by the Clinton campaign. He says they ought to look in the mirror.
Okay,
they say that she's been attacking him for months.
But does Bernie Sanders really care about the future of the Democratic Party?
That's an open question. He has been asked that many times, including by you, and he's taken kind of a wait and see. He is still running for his own chances. He'll worry about the rest of the party later.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Great to see you. Great to be here.
Good to see you two together. We like it. A CBS News poll out this very morning finds that Americans are more marijuana friendly than ever. 58% say it wouldn't matter if a presidential candidate supported legalized pot. It wouldn't change their vote either way. 56% of Americans say marijuana use should be legal. That's the largest percentage that our poll has ever found. And 51% have actually tried the drug. That's 8% higher than last year.
A car owner gets an unwanted...
No comment, anybody? We got a table full of people. Nobody wants to comment about it's marijuana day or something. Major?
That's a dopey story.
Okay. All right. Okay. All right. Okay.
I'll be here all week, ladies and gentlemen.
Okay.